What questions do you have from any of those 9 problems? Let's hold off on the word problems. Let's look at 1 through 6 first. Any from 1 through 6 you'd like me to help you out with? On page 33. Yeah. Number 6, you got it. So what you want to do first on this one is go ahead and distribute over the parentheses. Is that okay? And then we can go ahead and do our equal sign, or dotted equal sign. Hey, Bob. So in order to get n all by itself, 2 and n are being multiplied, so divide each side by 2. So n equals -6. What else on 1 through 6 on that page you'd like to take a look at? Yeah. 4, you got it. So I got 2x plus 3, x plus 2 equals 8. Okay? So first thing I want to do is I recognize that's just a positive 3, so I want to distribute that over the top. So it's going to give me 2x plus 3x plus 6 equals 8. Those are like terms, so we can add those together. And then we can go ahead and start moving things back and forth. Subtract 6, subtract 6. Those cancel. And then divide each side by 5. Got a tickle in my throat. Probably a thread from from a mask. That or COVID. I don't think it's COVID. Anything else? 1 through 6? Feel good? Happy? Content? All right, so I'm going to look at each of the word problems. So problem 7 says half the difference between a number and 12. So a number and 12 and difference, and half that difference is 15. Okay, so let's see if we say it one more time. Half the difference between a number and 12. Well, a number and 12, the difference of that, it has to be x minus 12. And then half of whatever that difference would be. And then is the equal sign, so 15. This is definitely one that we can multiply this by the fraction. Those cancel out. We can drop the parentheses now because there was a 1 out in front of that. So I get x minus 12 equals 30. And do our little dotted line. Add 12, add 12. Those cancel. X equals 42. Does that seem okay on that problem? Now, on the quiz tomorrow, you're not going to see any word problems, but we will be eventually getting those up and running a little bit more on tests and quizzes. Can I move to number 8? No? What do you want me to go to? Number 8. Okay. I'm with you. All right. Number 8 says 5 times the sum of a number and 9. So 5 times the sum. So 5 times the sum of a number and 9 is 35. So 5 times the sum. And the reason I know that the sum has to be in parentheses is, hey, it's saying, hey, we have the sum of the number, and then I'm going to go 5 times that. So from this one, we can go ahead and distribute the 5. So I get 5x plus 45 equals 35. Subtract 45 from both sides. 35 minus 45, I think, is -10. Then divide by 5, divide by 5. Those cancel, so x equals -2. And that's done. And problem number 9 says the sum of 3 times a number and 6. The sum of 3 times a number. So the difference between that and the one above says 5 times the sum. So we're doing 5 times whatever the sum is. This one says the sum of 3 times a number. So the sum of 3 times a number and 6 equals 27. So the difference between 8 and 9, 8 says 5 times the sum. So we're doing 5 times whatever the sum would be. Number 9 says the sum of 3 times a number and 6. So that means we're adding 3 times the number and 6 together.
It's this one, right?
Yeah, perfect. I'm glad that worked out. They didn't give you any grief, make you cry, shame you, or anything like that? Good. That worked out perfect. So those are going to cancel out. So we wind up with x equals 7. So basically, that's how you do that whole first page. And there was no other questions about 1 through 6, or we feel okay with it? Happy in that place? All right. So what I'd like to do today is I'm going to give you a 10-question review. But what we're going to do is I'll say, okay, why don't you take this amount of time for this many problems, this amount of time, and then what we'll stop, work through it, and then we'll go over it after a certain amount of time. We won't say, go and do the whole thing, and then we'll do it. I'll say, you have a certain amount of time for these problems, try them, and then we'll go over them. There you go. Sorry. It's not a quiz at all. Not a quiz at all. Just take one and hand it back to the rest. So you don't have to stretch all the way back. There you go. Everyone get one? Does everybody have one? We're good? All right, so my friends, I would like you to work on problems 1 through 4 right now. Just make sure you're able to do the best you can on 1 through 4. And we will say at 10:32. So at 10:32, I would like you to have 1 through 4 done the best of your ability. I'll run through these, see how we do. Okay, friends, problem number 1, just going to draw a dotted line down. I'm going to add 8 to both sides. So I wind up with 18 equals x. That answer is totally fine. Some of you might choose to say x equals 18. Either one of those answers is fine. Do you feel comfortable with that problem? So when you see that kind of problem tomorrow, do you feel you'll be able to do it okay? Yeah. Seem good? Cool. All right, friends. Can I move on to problem number 2? Okay, what should I do to get x all by itself? Divide. Why is it divide by 10? Yeah, you're multiplying, right? 10 times x is, or 10 and x is multiplied. So I'm going to divide each side by 10. Very good. So I'm going to cancel that, and I'm going to get x is equal to -8. Oh yeah, calculators from here on out are totally usable. I don't have any extras, so please get it from home. No, I can't let you use your cell phone on the actual test. But if you want to use your calculator on your phone right now, that's fine, just as long as you're not checking your Instagram at the same time. Is that okay? I don't have an Instagram. I have a Snapchat, dude. Oh, sorry. I don't. No, what do you use? Yik Yak? Yik Yak was... Talk. Yik Yak was one that, oh my goodness, there were some students here about 7 years ago that got themselves in trouble. It was basically, let's slander each other, and it was quote unquote anonymous. And they'd be like, Mr. Stirrup thinks he has hair and he's bald. Yeah, you can see that thing shining all day long. Yeah. That might have not been it, but I was just making fun of myself. But they would do that kind of thing, but to like other people.
But you do have hair.
Huh?
You do have hair.
Very little, though. I know. It's one of these Mondays you're not going to come in and I'm going to be like shaved down. I already, that doesn't help. It won't make it help. Yeah, I used to enjoy a lot going and get haircuts because it was like, when I had hair beautiful like your guys all, it was like, oh, this is great. Now it's like, sit down in the chair. Okay, we're all done. Oh, okay. It's $18, but I'm bringing you less. All right, problem number 3. Looks like I can start moving things over. How do you think I should move that 7 over? X over 7 is what kind of problem? It's division, so I will use multiplication in order to get it. Good. And I multiply both sides by 7. That's going to cancel, so I get x equals negative 56. Questions? Or are we good? And then problem number 4. What does it look like I need to do to both sides? Subtract 10. Friends, is it okay if I leave it as negative 17 equals x? Stirrup's class is good with it. You might come across a teacher that says, nope, x has to come first. And then you say, you know what, Mr. Stirrup said it doesn't say anything mathematically. I could be your scapegoat on it. And then I'll be like, oh, yeah, Mr. Stirrup last year. No wonder why you're so bright. Okay, friends, why don't you work on the next 4 problems and about 38? Yeah. Which one? Which one are you on?
So, when you go to divide 3 by 4, would you put the
Yeah, it'd be.
Would you put
the negative?
Or the 3?
It goes 3 over 4, and it doesn't matter if the negative's at the top, at the bottom, or in the middle.
Yeah.
Is that cool? All right, here we go. So number 5, we're ready to start moving things back and forth because we don't have like parentheses or like terms. So I'm gonna do this. I think I should add 4 to both sides. Bless you. Those cancel. So I get negative 2x. Negative 8 plus 4, I think, is negative 4. And then how do I get x by itself? Yeah, divide by 2. Watch it. It's negative 2, though, right? So make sure you bring that along. Negative over negative should be positive. 4 over 2 should be 2. Seem okay? Problem number 6, we're also ready to start moving things back and forth across the equal sign because I don't have any like terms or any parentheses or anything like that. So I'm just going to draw my line down and start working it. On this one, we can kind of pick. I could say, should I add 3x to both sides? That might be a choice. Should I add 1 to both sides? That's another great choice. Should I subtract x from both sides? Another great choice. Or should I subtract 2? Kenna, what do you want me to do? Which one of those 4? Subtract x? I'll go with that. So those cancel each other out. So I get negative 4x minus 1 equals 2. Then it looks like if I add 1 to both sides, those cancel. I get 3. Mav, how am I get that x all by itself? Oh, very good. Divided by negative 4. Those cancel. So friends, this is how our problem wound up. I could also have it like this. Or I could also have it like this. As long as you only have 1 negative sign somewhere amongst that fraction, it's totally fine. It's your choice. There's not a more correct answer than the other. Questions on either of those two? All right. Moving down. Am I ready to start moving things back and forth on this problem?
Yeah. No.
No, what do I have to do first?
Not.
Before that, distribute, yeah. Whoop, hey, why'd that happen? So I'm going to distribute here and here. So negative 5 times 2x is negative 10x. Negative 5 times negative 3 is positive 15. And I get 3x plus 2. There's no like terms on the left side or the right side to start combining on either of those sides. So now that I don't have a parentheses, I can go ahead and draw myself in my thing. Let's see. Brooke, what would you like me to do first? Would you like me to add 10x, subtract 15, subtract 3x, subtract 2? There's not a wrong answer. It's a great question. Subtract 2? Okay. And you might not have chosen to do that first, but the nice thing is these should work out to be the same answer regardless of what you choose. So now I get to this point. So it's like, okay, I need to get x by itself. B and I have 2 items on the left side and only 1 item on the right. I might choose at this point to add 10x to both sides. Those cancel, so I get 13 equals 13x. And then I'm just going to go ahead and divide each side by 13. So x equals 1 because 13 over 13 is 1. Not horrible, right? You think so far of these 7 questions you're going to be able to do well? I will tell you that these are very similar in order to what the quiz has tomorrow. All right, let's see. Problem number 8. I'm going to go ahead and distribute negative 2 over the parentheses. So I get negative 6 plus 4x. Notice the signs changed because I distributed negative. Also on this side, I'm going to distribute a negative, so both signs are going to change once it goes inside. Friends, does that appear okay? I don't have like terms on either side, so now I'm going to start moving things around. So last one, maybe this one, let's just let's move the number first. Let's subtract 16 from both sides. Why did I do that? Why? Who knows? So that gives me negative 22 plus 4x equals negative 4x. Oh, if only they were both positive 4x's, they would have canceled. But unfortunately, they weren't. Subtract 4x from both sides. That cancels. Okay, negative 22 is equal to negative 8x. Divide both sides by negative 8. Negative over negative this week is positive, I believe. Agree? So I get 22 over 8. And then I need to see if I can reduce this. Spell reduce right, Stirrup. I think 2 goes into both. So I get 11 over 4. That's what x equals. Not too bad so far, you agree? Do what? Yeah, reduce if a fraction can't, just don't turn it into a mixed number. Is that okay? Can I move to the last 2 problems? Go ahead and start on them. And these are a little bit tougher because it looks like one of them has, some clearing of the denominator. Do the best you can on that one. And we'll go through it real slow. I'll actually have that as its own slide. Just because, I'm being that generous. It's not really generosity there, pal. And just try that number 9. If you make a mistake, you can correct it and share, and there'll be room on the backside if you wanted to see if you can get it right. But. Quick question while you're just working it. What do you think you multiply all four things by? 10. 10, yeah, multiply everything by 10 over 1. Everything's a fraction. So you all told me that it's 10 over 1 that I'm going to multiply everything by. Okay, so 5 goes into 10 twice, and then 2 times 1x is going to give me 2x. Does that seem okay?
Yep.
These 10s cancel each other out, so then I get 1 times 3, so that becomes plus 3. This 5 goes into 10 twice, so 2 times 3 is 6. This 10 cancels with this 10, so I'm just left with 1x, which is the same thing as x. So that cleared really nicely. Okay, maybe on your sheet put that, because I know some of you really want to get this right. Maybe put a little note next to this problem saying that 20 minutes into my video, this problem is going to be done. That way, if you wanted to rewatch the video tonight, you don't have to watch the whole thing. You can just kind of scroll through the 20-minute mark. Okay? This is all ready to start moving things back and forth. So I might choose on this one, subtract each side, x from each side. Those cancel. That leaves me x plus 3 equals 6. Subtract 3. So x is equal to 3. So that what turned out to be kind of a ugly looking problem might have been a little bit nicer when we got down to the 2x plus 3 equals 6x plus or 6 plus x. Okay? So again, can you see how powerful that tool is? If you know how to clear that denominator, you can make it into an easier problem. It's just a matter of kind of working through it. Questions on this? Are we okay? May I move to the last problem of the day? We good? Yep. I love thumbs up. All right, problem number 10. Fortunately, we don't have any denominators, but we do happen to have some like terms. So these are like terms. These are like terms. And these are like terms. I change colors just to show either one side or the other, the equal sign, or terms that are like terms. So if I combine those together, that gives me negative 3x. If I combine those together, it gives me plus 6. If I combine those together, that gives me negative 7x and minus 4. All right. On this here, I might choose to add 7x to both sides. Again, I just had to start someplace. So it gives me 4x plus 6 equals negative 4. Subtract the 6 from either side. Those cancel. I get 4x equals negative 10. Divide each side by 4. So I know it's going to be a negative answer. And 2 goes in there twice. 2 goes in there 5 times, so negative 5 over 2. Now, you might want to put a little note someplace on here. Can I move off that screen? Good. No, not yet. Okay.
If we just said for our answer x equals 10 over negative 4, would we get points off?
You would get 1 point off. This would be probably a 3-point problem. You get 1 point off if you didn't reduce.
What about if you showed your non-reduced answer and your reduced answer?
Oh, well, usually I look for the non-reduced first, and if I don't find it, then I kind of start looking where I can start adding some points. All right. Last thing that I want to do, check my typing. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So you'd put an R for an answer or infinite in yeah, or sideways 8. Any of those would be fine. But what if same thing, but you wind up with -7 equals 3.
Put a 0 with a false.
Yeah, so this is false. So number of things you can do, you can go a 0, you can put a 0 with a slash through it, or you could write like no real solution or NRS. So either of those is totally fine. Okay? So, friends, I think page 35, 36. But what I want you to only work on is numbers 8 through 15. And that's going to be similar to what we have done tonight. Yeah, so only the page 36, yeah. Is that okay?